prompting is scalable. So you come up with your framework and now you can scale it. Instead of typing, I know when I first started prompting, I was just, all these prompts that were going into ChatGPT, and there was really no rhyme or reason. I was just asking questions and putting input in there. It was like, and then the way that ChatGPT files things on the left hand, it's like you can easily lose your content. I don't know if anyone's experienced that, but it just gets so messy, But so now there's a better way to do it, and that's actually by reusing a same high quality prompt. And so I want to show that to you today because I just think it's been a game changer for, especially a business where you know that the customer's going to want a certain thing, but maybe it's a different customer, maybe it's a different audience, or maybe it's a different goal that you want to set for the client, that kind of thing. So I'm going to show that to you. So this is our real world use case. This is a webinar. So here's the scenario. You're a marketing agency and your client is an HVAC company. They're called ABC Heating and Air. They have over 100 technicians. And your ABC client, they call you, you're the marketing agency, they call you and they say, I need to train my technicians. They are just not getting it. They are not giving the right message to my customers about cost savings on energy. And I need this presentation in the next 20 minutes. And it's like, you're the marketing agency, and it's like, oh, okay. So the problem is there's inconsistent messaging that is going out to the technicians, and it's confusing the customers, it's confusing the technicians, and the owner is just like pulling their hair out. And so he wants to have this emergency meeting. And he said, I'm the marketing agency, and he's like, okay, I need it to be 60 minutes long, I need it in 20 minutes, and this is what I need it on. So you ask a series of questions, and what do you do? What do you do? It's like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna get this done in 20 minutes, right? I mean, that could be daunting, right? But not with AI. So, here's the prompt. Here's the framework. Here's my framework. Create a webinar on, and then brackets are the learning objective and goals, which increases brand awareness targeting. Who is my audience customer? I need guidance on structuring the webinar's content, creating the slides for length, presentation with a focus on engaging my audience effectively. Additionally, in a PDF, I'd like an outline on post-webinar follow-up strategies that would be invaluable to maintain engagement and measure the success of the event. By the way, ABC Heating and Air, he said, I need to motivate my people. So that's why we're asking for this additional PDF. Specifically, I'm interested in including the most engaging types of content for. Okay, that's the framework. See, so these are the variables. This is where you need to fill in purple, okay? So now this is going to be the prompt. Create a webinar on, and then it's renewable energy savings tips, aiming to achieve cost savings for ABC HVAC customers. Okay, then that's the variable, which increases brand awareness, targeting, and then we've got the variable in there, HVAC field technicians. I need guidance. It's the same language, only all I did was I replaced the variables with the scenario. Does everyone see that? So now what we're going to do is we are going to take this and I am going to just unplug this for a second because I have to get into my web browser. Does anyone have any questions about this so far? Is it pretty self-explanatory?
How'd you learn the prompts?
That's where the training comes in, of really learning how to prompt engineer. I'm not a prompt engineer, but it takes time, it takes mastering, like things to say and how to say them, and how to not just have a 1 sentence or 2 sentence prompt. So if you can think of a scenario that you have, that happens to you a lot with your business, like I mentioned, like a proposal, or maybe an estimate or something like that. If you create the framework, then you can fill in the variables. So it's gonna be, but the framework can be very generic. It's just the variables that get specific.
And then with more specific variables, do you get a more specific outcome? And then, so,
Yeah.
are you saying you learn it entirely through experience?
Yes.
Could you leverage like ChatGPT to help you build your prompt and
Yes.
put that into Canvas?
Yes.
Okay.
100%. So now what I'm doing, all I'm doing is I'm taking that prompt, I'm copying it, and I'm gonna open up my window again real quick here. Okay. All right. Okay, so now, okay, so here. All right, here's my ChatGPT. That's the prompt where the variables have been filled in, right? Does everyone see that? Okay, all right. What's that?
Not really.
I know it's kind of small. Yeah, but that's the, I just read on the screen there, where we filled in the variables.
Zoom
It's-
in.
Yeah, it's the renewable energy savings tips for ABC HVAC customers, which increase, okay, so we're giving ChatGPT explicit instructions now. That's not your average prompt that you see in ChatGPT, right? Now, we're gonna let it rip. It's gonna think for a while. Hopefully, the Wi-Fi gods are with us right now. Okay, here we go. Webinar structure, webinar outline. And these are some basic tips that ChatGPT can pull off the internet. These aren't like specifics to that company. If this were a specific requirement from a company, you would want to have some knowledge set up in your ChatGPT. But for this purposes of this is a very high-level, general way of responding to a customer request very quickly. PDF follow-up strategy is telling you how to follow up immediately with your text. 1 week follow-up, monthly follow-up, it's giving you the whole strategy. Measurement and feedback. Okay. Alright. So here we go. Here's the outline. Now, what I'm gonna do is, I still need to create a presentation, right? So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to take, this is telling you how to create the slides, like color schemes and design, but I'm not even gonna bother with that. I'm just gonna take the content for the presentation, and I'm gonna go into Gamma. Remember I mentioned Gamma earlier? Okay, I'm gonna go into Gamma. This is Gamma. Okay, it's gamma.app, and I'm gonna click on Create New. Okay. Now, normally what I would do is if I were really creating something, I would go over the content, I would massage it, I would put in my own, you know, my own personality or my own information in it, but I just wanna show you how quickly you can create a presentation based on some very simple prompts. All I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna paste what I just pulled from ChatGPT, right? And we've got presentation, web page, document, or social. So we wanna create a presentation. I'm just gonna click continue. Now this is what I pulled from ChatGPT, right? Right here. And on the left hand, it says write for HVAC technicians interested in renewable energy solutions. Tone, informative, practical, encouraging. You can change the tone. So I'm just gonna kind of leave everything as is. I've got 8 cards here, right here. But if you have the paid version, you can get more, but the free version, you can get 8 cards. It's just like PowerPoint slides. I'll just keep it at 8. I'm gonna click continue. Now I'm gonna pick a theme. On the right hand side, I have all these different options here, all these different colors, and I've got light, I've got dark, colorful. Let's do something colorful, because we wanna keep the attention of the technicians for a 60-minute presentation. Let's do, let's see, well, let's do professional. I want it to be professional. Okay, let's do something like that. Now, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click generate, right? Yeah.
These take forever. Slide presentations. Jesus.
Isn't that crazy? And these are statistics that were, like I said, they were taken from ChatGPT, but if you have, you know, like a specific customer, specific data, you can incorporate that into your presentation. But this is just to show you the idea of how quickly, you can create something. And then you can also, you can change out the images. There's little buttons on the right-hand side. You know, if you don't like the images, you can change them out. You can change the fonts. You can do all kinds of things with the presentation. But if you're really in a hurry, you know, here you go. There. So that's an idea of how you can use AI right away in your business.
How does it save? Can it save in different formats? Or?
Yeah, you can download it as a PDF, or you can download it as a PowerPoint presentation. And then they also have, I think there's another option, you can download it. But yeah, you can just put it on your hard drive. Yeah. So that's a really fun tool. The other presentation tools are similar, but I like this one. It's just really easy to use, and before, I don't know about you, but creating PowerPoint presentations is just like time consuming, you know? It's like, what design do I use? What template do I use? So,
Colors.
you know, what graphics do I use? What fonts do I use? You know? So this is super, and it's only, if you get the paid version, it's like, I think it's either $10 or $20 a month. You know, it's a beautiful thing.
Don't forget, he asked you if you needed it in 20 minutes. So that was less than 20 minutes that you created it,
Yeah.
so, yeah.
And then that PDF document, now what I can do, yeah, and then that PDF document that I asked for, now I can ask ChatGPT, because now they want a follow-up campaign. So now what I can do is I can take that follow-up PDF and I can ask ChatGPT to create an email sequence campaign for me. And here's the instructions. You just upload that and you ask for an email sequence campaign, and it will have all of the instructions right in that PDF document. So now you've got an email sequence campaign that you can easily put into your CRM or for your client CRM and get that out immediately. So there's no like hassles with trying to figure out what to say. Those are just some really easy, simple things you can do right away. Any questions? Quite much.
So Sherry, you've showed some of your favorites for different AI tools to use, and do you have any suggestions of where to go to kind of get a feel for different ones as well, just because there's so many out there?
Yeah. So I always recommend to, I like just a few tools. I don't like a ton of them. And it depends what you are trying to accomplish. You know, like I know you're in finance. So I would think about like, okay, what are some of my repetitive tasks that I'm doing in finance that I don't really like doing?
Yeah.
And you and I can sit down and talk about that. I can come up with maybe some ideas for you of how you want to use it. But if you're doing marketing, Ideogram, InVideo, Canva is a really easy one to use. It's just some really basic ones. And then you can use like if you're doing marketing, you can use like calendar schedulers, like in LinkedIn. Because I know you do some things on LinkedIn, right? Yeah, so you could schedule things out ahead of time, so you could create something. Like, you know how I do some of my stuff? I have like flyers. So I'll use Canva. I'll create my content either in Canva or maybe Ideogram or in video. And then what I do is I have a framework in my chat, and I'll say, write me a social media campaign for LinkedIn. I always say the type of audience it is, because LinkedIn is different than Facebook than Instagram. But I always want to say, okay, it's for LinkedIn. And then I give it the parameters, and then I'll say, write me five posts for LinkedIn. So now I've got it in my arsenal. And then I can just grab it, put it into LinkedIn, make a video or image within video or Canva or, you know, and then what I do is I schedule it out. So now I don't have to worry about posting every day. You know, it's like everything is like dialed in for me for the whole month. You know, because it's so much easier to create content with AI now, because before AI came along, I had all these ideas, but I didn't have time to do it. I didn't have the bandwidth to create content. But now you can literally spend a half a day creating all your content for the whole month. If you're doing marketing, social media, you know, that's just one example of how you can really leverage AI. I love to do marketing with AI. It's so much easier, you know. Emails too, same thing. You can set up your email sequence campaigns ahead of time. Now, if you're looking for more like research and things like that, Perplexity would be a great tool to use for you while you're doing your research. And here's what Perplexity looks like right here. So I was gonna try and see if I have time. Does anyone want to see reverse prompting? Would you like to see that? Okay. So reverse prompting is I'm going to pull up this document real quick here. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, reverse prompting. So I have this example here. I'm sure you can't see it. Let's see here. Okay. So reverse prompting for storytelling. Okay? So this is something I learned recently, and it just like really, like, I was just so amazed by it. And this guy that I learned it from, he's in our organization, and he is always coming up with these really, really amazing ways to prompt. So here's a story. It says, write me a short story about a cow and a moon. Okay. A cow and a moon. Okay, so it can really be any story, right? But this is just an example. So I'm going to copy this. And I am going to put this into chat.
Lost the screen.
I don't think you've seen this, have you, Ron? Oh, what happened? I don't know why it's doing that. Uh-oh. Maybe we won't be able to do it. It's not working out.
Oh, no, it is.
Here it is.
Okay. It's a little temperamental today, I guess. There we go. Okay. Okay, so here's the.
Don't do this at home.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, so here's a short story. I'm using ChatGPT 4.5, and the reason for that is because 4.5 is good for writing and exploring ideas, okay? Because there's other versions here, but we're gonna use 4.5. And I'm asking ChatGPT a real simple question. Write me a short story about a cow and a moon. Just something real simple, right? A fictional story. So here's our story.
So when you pay for the $20 version, you get all those options for
Yes.
ChatGPT? Okay.
Yes.
As it's thinking.
Okay. So here's the story. We'll let that run. Okay. In the rolling pastures of Clover Valley, beneath velvet skies scattered with stars, grazed Luna, a cow, unlike any other, with eyes deep in midnight and a high depth like twilight. She spent each evening gazing dreamily at the moon, captivated by its silvery glow. So we'll let this go through. I mean, that's kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
So now, we're going to do this reverse prompting technique. And the reverse prompting is I went into Perplexity and I asked Perplexity, what in the last 100 years, what are the 3 most popular fictional authors? And it gave me James Joyce, Scott Fitzgerald, and William Faulkner. So now what I'm doing, and I'll show you what I'm doing, is I am going to take this same story, I'm going to put it in a different chat GPT window, and I'm going to show you the comparison of the 2 stories. And let's see what that looks like. Okay, here's the new prompt. James Joyce, Scott Fitzgerald, William Faulkner, and the top fictional authors in the past 100 years. If they came together to create a structure for writing an amazing short story, what would it look like? Here's the story. Write me a short story about a county moon. Okay, so now we're giving it some really specific information to create that story. Watch the difference. Okay, the last time I did this, it gave me an outline. Didn't do it this time. Oh, I did do it. That's interesting. Sometimes chat does its own thing.
Isn't that what it's all about?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, what I wanted to show you, and it didn't do it this time, was it gave me an outline. And I think I might have saved it from, I might have saved my, let's see here. I might have saved it from last time. Let's see if I saved it. Mommy and the Moon. This was it here. Mommy and the Moon. Okay, that was the short one. And then this one here. Okay, this was the one I did before. And look at, it showed me the structure. If James Joyce, Scott Fitzgerald, and William Faulkner collaborated on a structure for an extraordinary short story, it would blend these elements. And then it tells me what the structure would look like. Complex characters with symbolic depth. Characters are nuanced, rich in internal dialogue. Stream of consciousness, narrative. You know, it goes through like all of this detail before it even writes the story. And it wrote a completely different story this time too. Beneath the Milk Moon. So that's an example of reverse prompting, where you're going into Perplexity or another research tool, and you're researching experts in the industry or the area that you're trying to emulate, and then you're taking that and you're asking ChatGPT to create content for you based on that. So another example could be an expert accountant. Write me an email campaign coming from an expert accountant. or maybe that's a boring one, accountant, I don't know. But anyway, so that's just a very simple line item. Write me some content for some marketing for an accountant. But imagine if you went into Perplexity and you said, who are the top accounting firms in the country? Who are the top 3 accounting firms in the country that specialize in, and they have a specialization? Now it's going to pull up those 3 top firms. Then you can take those 3 top firms that resonate with you, and then you can take that content into chat, and now you can say, how would these 3 top accounting firms write content for this particular subject? So you're drawing from the experts in that industry, in that specific industry, in their specific domain. So that's what reverse prompting is, if that makes sense to everyone. So, with that said, I think I just have a few more slides, and then we are done. Does anyone have any questions?
Question, does Perplexity have access to peer-reviewed journals?
Peer-reviewed journal?
Like journals, like academic
Probably.
studies?
Yeah, I would think so. I would definitely think that they would, to be honest with you. Are you looking for anything particular?
Just quality of data, you know, like if they're citing scientific information, medical information.
What's peer review journals?
Sources?
Like, is PubMed used as for
Oh, yeah, or
What do you-
for example,
sorry?
PubMed is, where scientific journals that are, as he said, peer reviewed, that's a pretty common, site where you can trust those sources, so maybe that's the question. Is PubMed used as a source for?
So who are the top,
sources of scholarly articles or information
Yeah.
used, or academic databases,
who are the top authors?
or academic databases
Academic?
used?
Academia, for, spell it wrong.
Databases used for sources?
I'm sorry, I can't.
Used for sources or citing?
Used for sources?
Yeah.
But do you have a topic?
Exercise science?
Personal training, exercise science.
Exercise science?
What's that?
Exercise science.
Exercise. Sorry.
No worries.
I think it's the event or something. Does that look good?
You can read it.
Yeah.
Does that look good? Should we try it? Okay. There's some. Yeah, so now you could, you know, depending on what you're researching, you know, you could take this and you could put that into ChatGPT and start to ask ChatGPT specific questions on how would they respond to whatever
Yeah.
whatever your research you're doing. So, yeah, and Perplexity, they have a free version. I've never paid for the paid one, so I don't even know how much the paid version is, to be honest with you, but you can definitely get a lot out of Perplexity. I really like it for research. So, other than that, I just got a few more slides. We're pretty much wrapping up. Let me just go ahead and skip through these here. Here's some next steps that you can take. You can experiment with AI-driven tools. You can scan my little workbook here to help you stay on track with some of your goals. And there's some tools, I know Noreen was asking about some tools to maybe get started with. I think these are some really great beginner tools. And honestly, you don't need a whole lot of tools. Don't get lost in don't get lost in the weeds with a lot of tools. If you really understand ChatGPT, maybe you wanna pick up another LLM at some point, like Claude is really good. These are really some basic tools, and you really don't need a lot more. I would say master these, and then you can expand from there. That would be my recommendation. I do have the AI Resilient Action Plan for anyone interested. I'll help you build a roadmap for your business. It's free. More than happy to help you with that. And it will help you identify some of your biggest vulnerabilities in your business. And we can pinpoint some high impact areas where you can use AI. So if you'd like to scan that, this is absolutely free. We can definitely help you get on the right track with AI. And here's some resources. I know Noreen was asking about some additional resources. There's all kinds of resources. LinkedIn has some really great AI learning tools on there. School has some free AI groups. Just look for, if you go into school and you just look for AI groups, there's a lot that will pop up, and some will say charge and some will say free. There's some free ones in there. So you can start to kind of research from there. And then this is me. I've got an immersive, beginner-friendly live workshop that's going to be coming soon. And we're going to dig more into some of the things we talked about. I'm going to have different categories. I'll have fundamentals, I'll have marketing, I'll have creating your digital twin. We're going to have a bunch of things in there, so I'm excited about that. I don't have a date yet. I'm still working on it, but I can definitely let everyone know when that comes up. Would love for you to attend that. So I'm trying to figure out, should it be a 1 day, 8 hours? Should it be 2 days, 8 hours? Should it be spread out? I'm not sure yet. But that's what I have coming up. I specialize in one-on-one mentoring. If you're looking for an AI mentor, I can definitely help you, no matter what your situation is. I'm surrounded by the most brilliant minds in AI, so I just want to spread that out, help everyone I can with AI, and get them going with AI. So would love to hear from you if I can help you in any way. Would love your feedback, and our next event here is going to be on May 21st. So would love to see you again, and I try to mix things up each time and bring new ideas and new tools and new ways to use ChatGPT. So I really want to thank you for coming today. So thank you so much, and grab a flyer and hang out if you want. We've got water, we've got snacks.
If anybody has a business card,
Julio. And you're
I'll collect them.
Jen, nice to meet you. Tricia Sullivan, that's awesome.
It helps. That way,
Is the client getting involved